Greetings, everyone. Welcome to the World Global Reset United Nations conference call. Today's Friday, February 28th, 2020. We are the Global Network. I'm Shelley Bowling, and our speaker is Dr. Hendo Henderson, the Ad Hoc Chief Justice of the Universal World Court. He's also known as Yehoshua Mashiach, the Son of Man. It's great to be back with our global family on another beautiful Rise and Shine day. Yes, Father Yah Allah has yet once again given us the breath of life. For that, we are always grateful. We do thank you for joining us and inviting everybody you know to these calls. For those of you that are new, we would like for you to become a guest. That's a G-U-E-S-S, not a G-U-E-S-T. Doctor and I hope you'll keep us guessing, if you'll ever leave. Of course, we'd like for you to remain with us, because this is the only place on the planet that you're going to be getting this information. Since Dr. Henderson is the Ad Hoc Chief Justice, he is bringing to us the judgments and the sentencings of all unrighteousness on this planet from Father Yah Allah, our Creator. And as the Son of Man, he is bringing us the true interpretation of all of the Holy Scriptures, the fulfillment of the prophecies, and our redemption for all mankind. So we'd like to invite you to our websites. We do have a couple of them, sovcpr.com and .org. That's S as in Sam, O, V as in Victor, CPR like cardiopulmonary resuscitation.com and .org. On these websites, you're going to find letters from Dr. Henderson to the global leaders, historical and educational information, how you may submit letters of complaint and intent to the Universal World Court, how to submit any projects, resumes, names for the redemption list, any general questions, and participate in the indexing. The indexing is simply identifying yourself into the new system. This system is what has been put in place by the Global Network. So please check out on the bottom of the .com website homepage the audio link that explains how Dr. Henderson and the Global Network put everything together lawfully and in order over the last 30 years. Also, please check out the archives of the calls if you've missed one. And if you're new, we do recommend that you listen to them from the oldest to the newest, as this is going to give you a tremendous amount of additional information. The Global Network is working with 7 billion people and counting in 198 nations. The nations have united together with Father Yah Allah, our Creator, in one mind, one heart, and one spirit. They've come together as one family of mankind, working together using their treaties of peace and friendship to build up their people and nations' infrastructures, restoring one another and restoring this planet. They're using the 5 divine principles of life, which are love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. We always like to read the list of all of the nations. That's so that you that are new will know who's working with us. But this is just our way of showing you, our brothers and sisters around the world, how much we love and appreciate you, and thank you for your continued hard work. So I'd like to go ahead and yield the call to our beloved sister Akira to please come read the list of nations. Rise and shine, Akira.
Rise and shine. These are the 198 nations that are in the World Global Reset Restoration Network. Afghanistan, Albania, Algeria, Andorra, Angola, Antigua y Barbuda, Argentina, Armenia, Aruba, Australia, Austria, Azerbaijan, Bahamas, Bahrain, Bangladesh, Barbados, Belarus, Belgium, Belize, Benin, Bhutan, Bolivia, Bosnia and Herzegovina, Botswana, Brazil, Brunei, Bulgaria, Burkina Faso, Burma, Burundi, Cambodia, Cameroon, Canada, Cape Verde, Central African Republic, Chad, Chile, China, Colombia, Comoros, Congo, Costa Rica, Côte d'Ivoire, Croatia, Cuba, Curacao, Cyprus, Czech Republic, Denmark, Djibouti, Dominica, Dominican Republic, Ecuador, Egypt, El Salvador, England, Equatorial Guinea, Eritrea, Estonia, Ethiopia, Fiji, Finland, France, Gabon, Gambia, Georgia, Germany, Ghana, Greece, Grenada, Guatemala, Guinea-Bissau, Guyana, Haiti, Honduras, Hong Kong, Hungary, Iceland, India, Indonesia, Iran, Iraq, Ireland, Israel, Italy, Jamaica, Japan, Jordan, Kazakhstan, Kenya, Kiribati, Korea, Kosovo, Kuwait, Kyrgyzstan, Laos, Latvia, Lebanon, Lesotho, Liberia, Libya, Liechtenstein, Lithuania, Luxembourg, Macau, Macedonia, Madagascar, Malawi, Malaysia, Maldives, Mali, Malta, Marshall Islands, Mauritania, Mauritius, Mexico, Micronesia, Moldova, Monaco, Mongolia, Montenegro, Morocco, Mozambique, Namibia, Native American Tribal Confederation, Nauru, Nepal, Netherlands, Netherlands Antilles, New Zealand, Nicaragua, Niger, Nigeria, Norway, Oman, Pakistan, Palau, Palestinian territories, Panama, Papua New Guinea, Paraguay, Peru, Philippines, Poland, Portugal, Qatar, Romania, Russia, Rwanda, St. Kitts and Nevis, St. Lucia, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Samoa, San Marino, Sao Tome and Principe, Saudi Arabia, Scotland, Senegal, Serbia, Seychelles, Sierra Leone, Singapore, Saint Martin, Slovakia, Slovenia, Solomon Islands, Somalia, South Africa, Spain, Sri Lanka, Sudan, Suriname, Swaziland, Sweden, Switzerland, Syria, Taiwan, Tajikistan, Tanzania, Thailand, Timor-Leste, Togo, Tonga, Trinidad and Tobago, Tunisia, Turkey, Turkmenistan, Tuvalu, Uganda, Ukraine, United Arab Emirates, Uruguay, Uzbekistan, Vanuatu, Venezuela, Vietnam, Wales, Yemen, Zambia, and Zimbabwe.
Thank you, Akira.
Thank you.
Family, for the last few weeks, Dr. Henderson, also known as Yehoshua, has been bringing to us information regarding NBC, nuclear, biological, and chemical weapons. He has been explaining to us how they function and how they are being used against mankind. The coronavirus is simply a bioweapon in the NBC class that, as he has told us, is airborne. Airborne means more than just being spread from person to person. Airborne means it is in our atmosphere and in our air, placed there intentionally. Now, we did a short mention of this recently about what happened last October. But there was a simulation done regarding a pandemic that was done by so-called public health experts in New York City. And they were checking the responses and everything for the effects of how it would affect industry, culture, medical, military, all of these things, how it would affect all of the nations. Now, we know that the Center for Disease Control and the World Health Organization are not there truly for the protection of mankind. They've already been proven by the works of their hands and following the trails of the things that they've done, that what they have done has not been for the benefit but the destruction of mankind. They called this simulation event 201 or 20 and a 1. Could that possibly have been the Tetragrammaton of January of 2020 when all of these things hit. Their projection in their simulation after 18 months was that approximately 65 million people would be dead, and the pandemic would slow down after about 18 months. These things are facts, family. They're not theories. They're definitely a conspiracy against mankind and mankind's lives. But they are not theories. Just recently, a coronavirus patient in the U.S. that had no known exposure to anyone that had been sick, they hadn't gone to China, and so now the so-called officials are saying that it may not be able to be contained. Well, Yehoshua already told us it was in the air. We're not telling you these things, family, for you to be in fear. We are telling you these things simply to bring you the truth, that you may know what's going on around you, and that you may prepare. We're already seeing the effects of it economically around the globe. As many of the shelves in the nations now are starting to dry up. In the grocery stores, certain things are disappearing off the shelves, necessities of life. It's affecting the stock markets globally. We've known these things were coming, family, which is why for all of these years we've been telling you what was coming, so that you could prepare. But the greatest preparation that we can make is within our hearts and minds. Because perfect love of Father Yahweh and His Son truly will cast out all fear. We know that we must go through these things, that the wars are looming on the horizon, as they have been written as well. So we are moving forward, family, knowing that we of the righteous have a job to do. And our job is intensifying as we go forward. But we have full faith in the Father and His Son that we will accomplish everything that they have called us to do. So we go forward hand in hand with you, family, as truly one family of mankind, knowing that we will stand together as a family, and we will prevail. So with that, I'd like to go ahead and yield the call to Dr. Henderson, Yehoshua Mashiach. Rise and shine, sir.
Rise and shine. I'm glad, and I have to say I'm very proud of the United Nations for the way they're handling all crises, no matter what they are.
Yeah.
The reason I'm saying that is because we do know that now the United Nations have been sitting down and close with the negotiations and meetings with the United States of America. The reason being is because of so much that's going on. Right now, with all the crisis going on, it seems that the United States of America, US of A, the sweet land of liberty, is still finding ways to do nothing more than disrupt peace. Based upon the fact that now that everyone is going through a crisis, it seems that America has forgotten that it is part of the crisis, if not even responsible for the crisis. And I'm not just talking about one crisis. We're not talking about coronavirus, United Nations. We're not even talking about the small wars that are down now on the border of what is known as Palestine and Israel. We're not talking about those crises. There are more major crises now that's looming all over the planet. And it seems as if though the nation known as the United States of America is find the time to disrupt peace rather than to bring all nations together, whereby they will be able to bring peace to a standstill and all mankind will be able to benefit from it. United Nations, if I might quickly go ahead and then introduce who we are, so there will be no questions. Once again, we are the United Nations, based upon we are the World Global Network Reset Restoration Network. We are 198 sovereign nations. These sovereign nations have already claimed their sovereignty based upon the fact they were born. They have inherited their sovereignty. And these nations make up 7 billion sovereign principles, 7 billion sovereign individuals that have come together as 7 billion sovereign people for a 7 billion family of sovereign people that has gone forward now to make sure that they make this world a better place for every and all mankind. They are working together now to uplift fallen humanity, knowing that now to look to the left and look to the right would be a byword of saying that man may drop, man may fall, man may find himself dying on the left and on the right due to all the crises in which now upon the earth. The United Nations, as always, I will not hold you long. We do know that even now common colds are those things and whereby people are even in fear of. So as one begins to sniffle, one begins to cough, one begins to sneeze. And it's as if though, as I had spoken a few calls back, about the bionic plague. Well, some years gone now, back during what have been the silent years of what was known as the foreign nations, whereby the bionic plague came about during a time when Europe found themselves from what now has been classified as nothing more than being rat infested. For they believe that to this day the rats contaminated the water, the mice, and thereby the bubonic plague, which they later would have come along and named it or given it the title the Black Plague. And it had destroyed a lot of the people, knowing that now with all of the plagues upon the earth, all of that which is known as nothing more than a crisis in which the universe of people must go through, they're now working tirelessly, and I would say they're working around the clock to find a cure for the coronavirus and among other viruses that has also been linked to coronavirus and which has not yet been given a name. But those viruses are also coming about now. United Nations, I'm not going to hold you long, as I must at least be able to inform you. We must look forward now to all of the nations that have been classified to be NATO. Yes, as they realize now that many of them refused, just recently, they refused to even come up with more funds to be able to even classify themselves as being united in NATO. Yeah, but these things now have become a crisis within themselves based upon the fact that now, even though China is faced with having to fight this epidemic of what may be classified now as a world pandemic, of dealing with the coronavirus, yet and still it has to protect itself based upon defense maneuvers, such as just this following day, they kind of awakened themselves to each other from being able to be contaminated by a crisis disease in which no one knows where it came from and no one knows how to actually, seriously, make it go away. But meantime, they're having to put pilots in flight, in aircraft, even many of them having to still wear their protective masks while flying their aircraft high above the sky, whereby they have been having to use somewhat of a defense by firing laser would be systems at what is known as the United States of America's aircraft that has been violating their airspace. And now, America itself should realize that anyone now that enters the airspace of whether it be considered to be friendly or unfriendly, is going to truly be now, they're going to be examined. They're going to be recognized. Why? Because we're talking about the atmosphere, the air, the oxygen in which man has to now, he has to negotiate it, in regards to being able to survive, to live on this would-be earth, planet. And knowing that now anyone could be contaminating the air from up above, everyone is going to be contested. Everyone will be viewed as a potential threat to the oxygen or to the air. And as America still seems to send up aircraft flying around even in its own would-be friendly airspace, at home and abroad, flying around, speeding at the speed of sound but going nowhere. Yes, you're going to be contested by all of the nations, and as right, it should be being contested by those who are sitting inside of your so-called government. They should want to know, why is it that you're flying around at Mach speed or at the speed of sound when going nowhere? You're either at war or you're not. You're either going to fight a war or you're going to cause a war, or you're not. No one is accusing you of anything. Well, it's quite obvious that something is going on that you yourself need to come clean and be up front and sit down with the other nations and negotiate about what it is that you're trying to do. If you're testing there to make sure that you find some way of clearing it or helping it remain clear, so be it. But at least bring it to the attention of the other nations. There is still 198 nations that you must answer to, knowing that you yourself has not yet been identified, neither have you qualified yourself to truly be one of the nations. You're not even part of the nations because you have already rejected everything that comes along with the 198 solvent nations of the universe. Now, it seems as if though the United States of America is being attacked by all nations around it, but it's the other way around. The United States of America is attacking all of the nations around it, and it has not yet been identified as a nation, based upon the fact that now it seems to believe that by it talking to something that they keep classifying as the feds, federal, none of the other nations could actually recognize the feds or the federals, even though they classify themselves as having some bit of those would-be agencies inside their own nations. They don't foresee their nation being a force whereby it will be more concerned about dollars and cents, central banks, would-be financial institutes. They will not be more concerned about those things as they have found the United States to be. For now, with the pandemic going on, the United States has found the time to mention that the global economy is that which is being threatened. Not even considering that there's 7.5 billion and growing people on the planet that is being threatened. No, the U.S. is concerned about the central bank, and then believing that the central bank can lead the response to what is known as the pandemic or the coronavirus is somewhat of what the world may even itself recognize to be ludicrous. Money is not going to buy you a cure for any would-be contamination. It's not going to buy you anything that will be considered as peace. No, money will not buy you love. I know someone is saying and thinking now that it would do good as a great down payment for at least that of what may be pretended love. Let me help you out at the end of the day. When you go to pick up whatever you've thrown in layaway by purchase of some love in which you have purchased, you'll find out that someone has already taken the layaway out on even a cheaper amount of money based upon the fact they bought cash rather than credit. Stay with me. You'll catch it in a minute. But now that we go forward, knowing that the world now is at crisis, everyone is looking to the holy house to be able to protect them. As I already had given you the answer, everyone must become a true believer of the only God of the universe, Ya Allah, and there is no other. Everyone must become a true believer that in these final days for a new beginning, He has sent His only begotten Son, that whosoever would believe in Him would not perish but have everlasting life. In these last days, He has sent His only begotten Son, not to change the laws, but through Him they will be fulfilled. In these last days, He has sent His only begotten Son. Yes, these last days. To make sure that everything is going to be fixed, repaired, restored, redeemed, restorated, and resurrected. So you can either believe or you can not believe. But everyone is reaching out now to the holy house or the holiest house, the holiest house. But even now, as they watch the Pope begin to cough and sneeze, and it seems as if though now everyone realizes that even the holy house is not going to be one that will be exempt from the pandemics or from those things that are classified as crises upon the earth. And I dare say crisis, not Christ, or not crisis as in more than one Christ, but we're talking crisis. It's a different one. Spelling is different, kind of sound alike. Crisis, crisis. So one must be able to discern and decide which one is being spoken of at all times. For right now, there's no word from the Vatican based upon what is going on with the pontiff, why he's coughing and blowing his nose at the Ash Wednesday. No word has come from it. But even though it has has been said that there were more than 500 people infected with coronavirus in Italy. Yeah, that's Rome, Italy. But only 3 cases reported in Rome. 400 people in Italy, but only 3 cases reported in Rome. Notice the word reported. So they know that there's more cases that has also flared up in Rome as well as in Italy. In a prepared speech, the one known as the Pontiff, but he was only known as the vicar of the Pontiff. Back in February 27th, wow, everyone says 27? You're right. Just recently. It has been said that there came out from the vicar, the Pope's vicar, one of the dioceses came out with a letter, and whereby he warned all of the clergy of the universe, I would say, because whenever the Roman Catholic Church speaks, whenever they speak from the Vatican, whenever they speak from St. Peter's, they're warning the entire world. And he has given out a warning to all of the clergy, the ones that are known as the holy men of the universe. His speech was confronting all of the holy men of the universe not to be given in to bitterness. So he says it helps priests to realize that they are not all powerful beings, but sinners who have been forgiven and called by God. But this is a letter that was written by the Pope, not by the vicar. The vicar is only the one who gets the opportunity to be able to bring it in a moment when the Pope is extremely feeling bad or he's extremely sick. No, we're not wishing the Pope any bad with the world of ailment. We're not wishing him any would-be trouble. For the matter of fact, we have reached out to him now for the past would have been 5 years. And before, all of the other popes were being reached out to by us. Us who? God the Father, God the Son, and God the Holy Spirit. We have been reaching out to them now for at least 30 plus years. And to no prevail, they will not answer. The world, I know, United Nations will recall that only a few years ago I was asking the Pope for his blood, DNA, and RNA. No prevail. He still has not yet relinquished it. He has not yet authorized me to be able to search it, to check it. But as I've stated, he will at some point in time. He'll relinquish it. He will let it go. He'll allow it to be tested. No, it's not to test it to destroy him. It's not about that. See, he's holding a holy position on the planet. I just want to make sure that he recognizes it, that he is not the holy seat for the planet. But to clear it up for him and for myself and for the world, I need his blood, DNA, and RNA. No, I'm not attacking him now, not at the moment when he's sick. We're all sick, tired, and now we must come to a conclusion. How do we fix everything that's going on the planet? scriptures. We go back to all of the Holy Scriptures. We go back to the be able to get to the Septuagint, the Torah, the Tanakh, the Holy Bible, the Holy Quran, Circle 7. Yes, the book of Susanna. We go back to the book of all of the books of what has been classified as Holy Scriptures. That's how we go back to them. See, there's a message in each one of them that will give us the truth based upon who is the holy seat of the universe, and not only that, but blood, DNA, and RNA samples have already been given. They're being given by the day. We do documentations every day, and we place our blood, DNA, and RNA on we, God the Father, God the Son, and God the Holy Spirit. And we give them to you. All you got to do is test it. Your technology will help you out, and your understanding of common sense will also give you the ability to recognize. No, not at this moment. I'm not coming to wage war, but I'm bringing peace. I'm bringing peace to the planet, a peace that will bypass all other understanding, with no bitterness. For I would warn also all of the so-called holy men of the planet, don't become bitter. Because if you do, it will not help you. And I'm not threatening you. I'm just giving you a promise so you understand that if you become bitter, you're doomed. Because, no, I will not go away. I've come from my Father to bring you something. For it says to you priests who despise my name, yet you say, in what way have we despised your name? I say you have offered defiled food on my altar. But you say, in what way have we defiled you? But I say, the table of Yah, God of the universe, is contemptible. And when you offer the blind as a sacrifice, is it not a sin? Is it not evil? And when you offer the lame and the sick, is it not evil? Offer it then to your governor. See if he will accept. Would he be pleased with you? Would he accept you favorably? No, these are not my words. These are my Father's words. These are the words of my Father Yah. But now entreat my Father's favor, that he may be gracious to us all. While this is being done by your hands, will he accept your favor? Will he accept you favorably? No, these are not my words. These are the words of my Father. Who is there even among you who would at least go to a point of shutting his doors so that you would not kindle fire on my altar in vain? I have no pleasure in you. No, these are not my words. These are my Father's words. United Nations, please bear with me just a little while longer. I'm almost complete here for the time being. Nor will I accept your offerings from your hand. But from the rising of the sun, even to its going down, my name shall be great amongst the Gentiles. In every place, incense shall be offered to my name, and a pure offering. My name shall be great among the nations. No, these are not my words. These are my Father's words. you will not hear, and if you will not take it to heart, to give glory to my name. No, these are not my words. These are my Father's words. Yah. I will send a curse upon you, and I will curse your blessing. Yes, I have cursed them already because you do not take it to heart. Behold, I will rebuke your descendants and spread refuse on your faces, the refuse of your solemn feasts, and one will take you away with it. Then you shall know that I have set this commandment to you, that my covenant with Levi may continue. These are not my words, these are my Father's words. My covenant was with him, Levi, one of life and peace. And I have them to him, that he might fear me. They were given to him only for that purpose, and I gave them to him. So he feared me and was reverenced before my name. The law of truth was in his mouth. Then justice was not found on his lips. He walked with me in peace and equality, and turned away all of them who would have found themselves in iniquity. This being in iniquity, for the lips of the priest should keep knowledge, and people should seek the law from his mouth, all of the priests. For he is the messenger, he says, of God. But you have departed from the way. You have cursed many to stumble at the law. You have corrupted the commandment and the covenant of Levi. No, these are not my words, United Nations. These are my Father's words, Yah Allah. And for those of you who have been around the Vatican, I'm pretty sure you've seen a couple of holy books lying here and lying there. Pick one up. You will find this in the book of Malachi, first chapter to the second chapter. United Nations, as I prepare myself to go into a day whereby this day once again, it brings great tidings, great tidings. For the word of truth, the word of Yah Allah is on the earth, and no one can deny that. That now as I bring these words, these are the words of the Holy One, Yah Allah, God of the universe, the only God of the universe, Almighty. And they must be recognized by all mankind, and especially those that classify themselves in these days as the holy men of God. I would have to agree with the pontiff. I would have to agree with the vicar. The whole diocese must realize that even though now the Roman Catholic Church seems to be the backbone and the brain of what is known as all of the holy churches of the universe, must realize that you cannot at this moment in time allow yourself to become bitter. Because if you do, you're going to become bitter against my Father, not me. I'm only here as a messenger of truth, whereby once again, as I say, for the law of truth is the reason I'm here. And injustice cannot be found on my lips. will walk in peace, love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. It must be on the hearts and the minds of all mankind. It must roll off the lips of all mankind, and it must be displayed in his heart that he might be able to render it to every man of the universe. No, I know. Right now, I must be honest with you. I cannot stop the plague. My Father won't allow me to. No. I cannot stop the wars because my Father won't allow me to. I won't be able to tell the 5 elements to relax. No, because my Father won't allow me to. Behold, I am just a messenger. For I must prepare the way for my Father, Yah Allah, whom you seek, will suddenly come to his temple. Even the messenger of the covenant which I am, in whom you delight, behold, he is coming. These are not my words, these are my Father's words. He who can endure the day of his coming jubilee, and who can stand when he appears? For he is like a refiner's fire, and like water soap. No, these are not my words. These are still found in the book of Malachi. Pick one of the copies up when you walk by the Vatican or when you find yourself at the visiting with the doors. They have a section there where all visitors must report prior to going into that which is known as the Church of God, the Roman Catholic Church. Pick one up. I challenge you, read the book of Malachi. Go ahead. I challenge you. But soon and real soon, there will become an offering for Judah and for Jerusalem, even no matter now how they fight about where the capital should be, the capital. But it will be pleasant to Yah Allah, God of the universe, as in the days of old, as in the former years. I will come near you for judgment. I will be a swift witness against sorcerers, against adulterers, against perjurers, against those who exploit wage earnings and widows and orphans, and against those who turn away an alien because they do not fear me. No, these are not my words. Stop it. These are my Father's words. Once again, these are from the book in which I have already requested that you stop by the Vatican City and pick one up when you're there in the visiting booth. For I am Yah Allah, God of the universe. I do not change. Therefore you are not consumed. O sons of Jacob, yet for the days of your fathers you have gone away from my ordinance and have not kept them. Return to me, and I will return to you. No, these are not my words. These are my Father's words, United Nations. But you say, in what way shall we return? My question to you. Will a man rob God? Yet you have robbed me. But you say, in what way have you robbed me? I say, in tithes and in offerings. You are cursed with a curse, for you have robbed me, even this whole nation. Bring all the tithes into the storehouse, that there may be food in my house. And try me now in this. No, these are not my words. These are my Father's words. Yah Allah, God of the universe, the only God. Try me. See if I will not open for you the windows of heaven and pour out for you such blessings that there will not be room enough to receive it. Again, these are not my words. I am only the messenger. In the last days, for a new beginning, for a new time, for a new purpose, I am only a messenger. But behold, I will send you Elijah, the prophet, before the coming of the great and dreadful day of Yah Allah, God of the universe, and he himself will turn the hearts of the fathers to the children, and the hearts of the children to the father, lest I come and strike the earth with a curse. But remember, I have cursed you already. Remember the laws of Moses, my servant. United Nations, I must prepare myself to go to work now. For all the nations already know exactly what will and how it is that the world shall be cured of all ailments, how the world will be cured of all wars, how the wars and all of the rumors of wars, which has not yet brought the end, will be able to find themselves all wrapped up into one big huge battle. And only after that battle, then will the worst be no more. And the earth will be released from all of its ailments and all of its pressures and all of the situations in which it finds itself in. It will then be released. But not until the Son of Man has been lifted up to the point that he will be recognized in truth, that he will be recognized, that the fact that he brought the law back to the universe. And remember, you must be a doer, not just the hearer of the word. For faith without works is dead, and works without faith is dead. Thereby you must have faith, and you must have works. For these are those that shall be known as doers of the word, as well as hearers. But meantime, I don't want you to feel as if though now I'm reading you your last and final would-be testament. But I'm reading you a will that comes from the Almighty himself, my Father. He willed that all men should be saved, and so be it in my heart, that all men should be saved. However, I do recognize and understand that not all men that say to him, Lord, Lord, shall get in. But I do know that every knee will bow and every tongue will confess that he is who he say he is. In the meantime, I've looked outside my window, United Nations. I know it's becoming even harder for you, to even look forward to the next coming day, for not knowing what the next day is going to bring, not knowing what to expect for the next coming of the next day or the new day. But you know what? I see a new day outside now, and I'm prepared for it. So I must go now. I must work while it's still day, for when night cometh, no man can work. I say for you, even though now you're preparing to lie down and take a rest, just remember that a day is coming thereafter, and you must prepare yourself. For you must work every moment a wise day, for when night cometh, again I say no man can work. Prepare yourself. Go ahead, get a little bit of rest. That comes with the first preparation for work. Rest. Meantime, get you a little bit of rest. Let not your heart be troubled. Don't prepare yourself to worry, but prepare yourself to unworry. Knowing that Allah, God of the universe, is forever. Meantime, peace and love. And nightfall.
Thank you, Yehoshua. And thank you, family, for joining us. Yes, it's Friday again, so we do have our U.S. call this evening at 8:30 Central Standard Time. We do look forward to being with many of you at that time as well. In the meantime, family, if it is dark in your area, get some rest. It's light in ours. And as always, we do continue to work on your behalf. We love you, family, and as always, leave you with John 17:14 through 17. I, Yehoshua, have given them your word, Father Yah, and the world has hated them, because they are not of the world, just as I am not of the world. I do not pray that you should take them out of the world, but that you should keep them from the evil one. They are not of the world, just as I am not of the world. Sanctify them by your truth, Father Yah. Your word is truth. Until this evening, family, love and nightfall.
Okay, so you heard it here first. 100% certain that I'm the only man who's ever published this on YouTube. This conference happens twice a week for many years, and this dude, you think you understand sovereignty? You think you understand commerce? You think you understand how these things work? And this man has done it, and I'm gonna be at the meeting tonight. You should too.